Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to a different episode here, a different video here, shall we say, which is each Premier League team. We're going to go for each Premier League team, each squad list, and see what player we love the most from each Premier League club. This video has been done by James Alcott, of course, so if you want to link description below, details are there for his video if you want to check that out as well. Thank you for the idea. I guess you don't know I'm doing this, but I'm doing it, so why not? But anyway, guys, Valentine's Day was 3 days ago. We could have done it then, but the idea wasn't about, and I wasn't clever enough to come up with it myself. So thank you, James, for giving me this idea 3 days later. But anyway, enjoy the video, guys. Let's get on with it. So like I said in the intro, we're going to go for each Premier League side and see what player, or decide what player we love the most from each Premier League outfit. Now, this isn't based on stats of the season, how good a player is. It's just based on how much I like these players. It could be personalities, could be a nice celebration they've done. It might be anything. Might just be aesthetics, but I don't think it will be. But anyway, guys, we're going to go on to our first team, and that is, of course, going for alphabetical order. And we're going to go through to Arsenal. Let me get the Premier League table up, so don't forget about. I'll probably forget about Brighton or someone if I don't get the table up. So let's go through the table alphabetically. Let me get the alphabetical table up before I go for it. And we are going to go for Arsenal first. So Arsenal, for me, is kind of a no-brainer. A lot of these won't be youngsters, I've got to say. A lot of these won't be youngsters. And you can kind of guess where I'm going from with one of these kits behind me. It's kind of obvious. It is, of course, where are we? It's got to be Aubameyang. I know it's Lewandowski kit, but I just love Dortmund back in the day. And Aubameyang was one of my favourite players. The Batman celebration, the backflips, the goal scoring ability as well. I know it's not attribute and stat based, but he is a great goal scorer. I just like his smile as well. His haircuts are good. His celebrations are good. His masks are good. He's just a good guy, and he seems quite nice. And he's a very, very good player to watch as well. I think for Arsenal, unless I'm missing someone out, I feel like I'm missing someone massively important out of Arsenal. Obviously, if Santi Cazorla still was alive, I would be going for him. But there's no one that I really like. I do like David Luiz, actually. It's controversial, but I do really like David Luiz. I just love him. Back from the old FIFA days when I used to play as Team of the Year at false 9 at centre-back. That's when my love for David Luiz started, because I was a weird child and I played centre-backs up front, because why not? Apart from that, in that club, I mean, Smith-Rowe I do like due to FM. Odegaard I like because of FM. Danny Ceballos had that great game versus Burnley last year. That was fantastic. That's his one game that I've seen him play well in, and I was there in person. Lacazette I do like. There are a few decent players. I think a lot of Arsenal players are likeable but not lovable. And I think for me, the number one is definitely Aubameyang. He's my lovable player for Arsenal here. Moving on to Aston Villa, and if you guys have watched my Premier League prediction videos, obviously every week we do a Premier League predictions for the fixtures for the weekend coming up, or the week coming up, and I always predict Aston Villa to lose. So I'm not a massive fan of Aston Villa, and it's certainly not Jack Grealish. I tell you now, it's certainly not Jack Grealish. If I'm going to have to go for one, I'm looking at this list here. Let me move it on this screen so I'm looking away from you guys. I would probably say, I don't know. I might go for Henry Lansbury, because he played for West Ham at one point in his life. I don't even know. I look at Aston Villa's team, and I don't see anyone that stands out that I like. I'm trying to think. Olly Watkins. Olly Watkins, I think, for me. I do like Olly Watkins. I didn't think he'd be that good this year. He hasn't really been consistently good. I don't think from what I've seen, he scored a lot in one game and not scored for a while, and scored a lot in one and not in a while. I think that's what I remember him doing. But I do like Olly Watkins. I do like him. Obviously linked to West Ham. A lot of these probably are West Ham related, I can't lie. There's going to be a lot of bias here. But Olly Watkins is my only player that I kind of like in Aston Villa, to be fair. On to Brighton here, and Brighton Hove Albion. I mean, thank God Glenn Murray's not here anymore, because he would not be top of the list. I would say Matt Ryan, but he's not there anymore. Lamptey? Maybe Lamptey. He's a nice little kid. He's nice and happy. Dendoncker. That's not the Dendoncker though, is it? I think I'm gonna have to go. Yeah, it's gonna be Lamptey. Maybe Danny Welbeck, but probably Tariq Lamptey. Yeah, Lamptey's my favourite there from Brighton. On to Burnley. Who doesn't love Burnley's squad? I mean, it's classic Brexit football. Nick Pope. I do like a bit of Nick Pope on FIFA, I'll tell you that. But I'd say, apart from Nick Pope, I'm gonna have to say, by the way, guys, let me know in the comments below who your favourite player from each team is in their Premier League. And tell me why as well. Let me know why your favourite players are your favourite players. I do like Chris Wood. Ashley Barnes and Chris Wood always scores against us. But I'm going to have to go for Nick Pope. I'm going to say Nick Pope. I'm trying to pick different positions as well. I'm not going to try and pick strikers for every single club, because it gets a bit boring. I do wonder if I can make a fully fit team out of this video. I wonder if my selections randomly turns up and is a team that's usable. But Nick Pope, for me, is probably my favourite Burnley player. I think he could be England's number one for the Euros for sure. He's doing very, very well. Depends how. It's a long way to go to the Euros, so a lot can change in a goalkeeper's career. And talking of careers for goalkeepers, Chelsea, it's not Kepa. I think my favourite player is probably Mason Mount. I can't lie. I do like Mason Mount just because of the Declan Rice links. Once again, the bias is there for West Ham. But I'm going to have to say, outside of football, I think Havertz is up there. I just think he seems like a really nice guy. From what I just guess. Kante is a nice guy, but he's one of those ones where everyone knows he's a nice guy, so he becomes unlikable a little bit. If you know what I mean. Do you get what I mean there? That's kind of what I mean. But I'm going to go for Mason Mount for Chelsea. Pretty straightforward. The links with Declan Rice and, of course, the likability of a nice young English attacking midfielder. Crystal Palace next up. And I think... I feel like Crystal Palace's team is so boring. Kouyaté. I do love Chika Kouyaté. Kouyaté is the one for me. Kouyaté, he's just so happy to be just alive. I just feel like Kouyaté just loves living. And he loves football. And he's just such a nice guy. I've gone for Kouyaté there. On to Everton. My favourite Everton player, I would say James. From the top of my head, I'm going through the squads here. I would say James. James is a very likeable player. Obviously, his goal for Colombia was unbelievable back in the World Cup. Yeah, I'm going to stick with James Rodriguez there. I think he's a very, very nice player to watch. I think he's a very, very nice player. Goal scoring wise, in terms of them goals that he scored, have stood out in the mind a lot for me. And he had a grasshopper on his arm at the World Cup, and that for me, if a grasshopper likes you, a human should really like you. That's my motto in life. If you're liked by a grasshopper, you're liked by humans. Anyway, on to Fulham here. Oh, Fulham's a tough one. There are a lot of... Can I just pick Scott Parker? I know he's the manager, but can I just pick him? Because I love him the most. Oh, I do like... Oh, I'm gonna bottle this one, and I'm gonna say Scott Parker. But if I had to pick a player, it would be... Does Tom Cairney even play football anymore? He's made 10 appearances. Okay, he's made 10 appearances. Loftus-Cheek? Yeah, Loftus-Cheek. I do like Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek behind Scott Parker if we can't allow to pick managers. In fact, guys, also in the comments, let me know your favourite manager in the league as well. Not from your own club. Leeds United here. It's not Calvin Phillips, the most overrated guy in the world. Is it Patrick Bamford, the son of JCB? I don't know. Let's have a look here. Who have we got in the squad? Who do I like from Leeds? Oh, who's a like Rodrigo? Oh, Rafinha. Rafinha's the one for me. Rafinha, I like him. He's good. He seems like a decent guy. Brazilians are quite lovable characters. From experience of working at football clubs, Brazilians are quite lovable. So I'm going to go for a Brazilian net and Rafinha. Leicester City, I think it's, for me, I don't know if it's going to be Jamie Vardy or not. Tielemans. Tielemans is the one. Tielemans or Ndidi. I think I'm going to go for Tielemans though. I do like him a lot. I think Tielemans is very underrated. He seems like he's always happy. And as Spencer FC says, always a Belgian. Always a Belgian. On to Liverpool here. Now, for me, most likeable players from Liverpool. It's a small list. It could be Adrian from the West Ham link. But I'm going to say, for Liverpool, who do I like? Oxlade-Chamberlain. Oxlade-Chamberlain. This isn't based on football ability, by the way, guys. Obviously, it's not. He wouldn't be up there. But for me, I actually liked Oxlade-Chamberlain a lot. I do like him. I think he could have been really good had his injuries have not have killed his career. For me, I'm going to go for Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think he's a very, very nice player. Man City here. Next up, we have got... I think for Man City, there's a lot of lovable players. A lot of lovable players here. I like Edison, Kyle Walker. I like John Stones is possibly up there with my favourites. Laporte, João Cancelo. There's too many. But as a person who would I love to sit down and have a meal with, it could be Kevin De Bruyne, you know. I think Kevin De Bruyne, without footballing ability, it might not be Kevin De Bruyne, but you've got to factor in slight football ability here. Kevin De Bruyne, for me, I just like him a lot. Bernardo Silva's a nice, happy kid. He's like 55 years old. A nice, happy guy. But for me, I'm going to go Kevin De Bruyne there. Man United here, pretty straightforward. Not even going to have to open this tab to see who it is. It's King Paul Pogba. There's no question about it. Paul Pogba is my Man U choice. There's not even a debate to be had. You can argue all you want in the comments. There's no debate to be had. Paul Pogba is my favourite Man U player by an absolute mile. There's no reason why anyone on this earth should dislike Paul Pogba, in my opinion. Newcastle, It's got to be Saint-Maximin, surely. I'm trying to think who else there could be. Yeah, Saint-Maximin, I love him. He's a nice guy. He wears a Gucci headband. What more can you say? Fashion style's on point. Celebration's on point. Dancing's on point. Skill moves on point. Got to go for him. And Sheffield United, it's going to be Sander Berge. Before I even open this tab, I've got to say, do I like any Sheffield United players? They're all so just poor. They're all just so bad. I mean, there's a question. I don't question why they're in the bottom of the league. But if you ever do question it, go onto a Premier League squad page and go onto Sheffield United and name me one good quality player apart from Sander Berge. I'm sure you can't. I'm definitely sure you can't because I can't. Yeah, it's going to have to be Sander Berge. He's still existing, right? He is still alive. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure he's injured real life. Yeah, he's still playing for Sheffield United. Yeah, Sander Berge all the way for me. On to Southampton here. I'm thinking off the top of my head, Danny Ings. I'm thinking, Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse is likeable. I've gone for a very Brexit approach with all these players. I think there's some sort of underlying bias towards English players here. But for me, favourite player in Southampton's squad is probably going to go Danny Ings. I'm going to go Danny Ings for that one. I do like the look of him. He's a nice guy. He's probably a great person. On to Spurs. Sorry, chat. Sorry about that. On to Spurs. We are going to go for... It's a big list of unlikable players. It's a massive list of unlikable players. Right, I'm going to be controversial here. Son is not the one. I think Son is... There's Kante in terms of everyone likes him so much he becomes dislikable. Then you've got Heung-min Son up here, who is just... Everyone for some reason likes him, even though, I don't know why, that he makes him so detestable that, that I don't like him. So for me, my favourite Spurs player, personality-wise, not from actual playing for the club, because you know I'm not a Spurs fan, for me, it's going to have to be Reguilon, because he's on loan, maybe. This is a tough list. Lucas Moura is kind of likeable. Like I said, you can't go wrong with a Brazilian. You can't go wrong with Lo Celso. Lo Celso's the one for me. Giovanni Lo Celso is my favourite Spurs player, probably by a mile actually. I don't know why. I think it's due to FM and me playing for Real Betis a few years ago that I liked Lo Celso. But for me, it's a small list to pick from in terms of Spurs players that I actually care for and like. West Bromwich Albion squad list. Now, this is going to be easy for me. But actually, maybe not. It's between two. It's obvious if you know the bias here. Dean Garner or Robert Snodgrass. For me. Or Maitland-Niles. I do like Maitland-Niles. For me, it's Dean Garner. If you guys have watched the channel enough, you know I like Dean Garner still. I'm still a bit bitter about him leaving us. So for me, Dean Garner is my favourite West Brom player. And also the main one here, West Ham United. I mean, every player here is likeable. Who do I like the most? It's going to probably be Mark Noble. Just because I've admired him. I've even got... Listen, if you've got a figurine on your desk of Mark Noble, you've got to pick Mark Noble. I don't think that's even in focus. Is that even in focus? You guys, is it even in focus? It looks nothing like him at all. I mean, does it look like him? It's debatable if you think it looks like him or not. Let me know in the comments if you think it looks like him. I'm not sure it does. But anyway, is Mark Noble my favourite player? Yes, he's my favourite player in existence. Thomas Souček is very lovable. Jesse Lingard is... I could go through all these players and pick all of them, but it's going to have to be the basic Mark Noble for me because he is just my idol. I'm not going to lie. It may be sad having your idol as a bang average Premier League midfielder who's never got a cap for England, but for a West Ham fan, he epitomises everything you need to love about football. And for me, he is my favourite. He tops this list of everyone from all clubs. He tops the list. And the final club we're going to go for here. I don't know why I got my headphones in. I'm not even listening to anything. My favourite player from Wolves is... I do like Raul Jimenez. But I like Den Donker as well. What position haven't I picked? Let's see if we can pick a position that we haven't really picked. Adama Traore, complete pace merchant. Don't care for him. I really don't care for Adama Traore. Controversial, I know. I could go for Semedo. I do like Semedo. Ruben Neves is likeable though. But I think I'm going to have to go for... Jimenez or Den Donker. I'm going to go for Den Donker. A very midfield heavy. A very, very midfield heavy favouritism squad here. But those are my top 20 players, or one from each team of the Premier League. Let me know, guys, if you're enjoying this series so far. Maybe do some other clubs, maybe some European teams, maybe some UCL teams, however you guys want to see it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new around here. Also, guys, comment below who your favourite player from each Premier League club is. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all later.